Hello there. The friendship which is the truest and best is that which reads the trouble test. Chapter 18, The Adventures of Prickly Porky. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Starts out with a little poem. The friendship which is the truest and best is that which meets the trouble test. No one really knows who his best friends are until he gets in trouble. When everyone is lonely and there's no sign of trouble. Oh no, when everything is lovely. You know, sometimes everything's just fine. There's no sign of trouble anywhere. One may have ever and ever so many friends. At least it may seem so. But let trouble come, and all too often these friends just seem to disappear, as if by magic. And only a few, sometimes a very few, are left. And they are the real friends, the true friends, those that are worth more than all the others put together. Remember that if you're a true friend to anyone, and he will stay by him, and you will stand by him. And a true friend helps him, no matter what happens. Sometimes it's almost worth getting into trouble just to find out who your real friends are. Now, Peter Rabbit found out how some of his truest friends are when, because of his own carelessness, old Granny Fox had caught him. Peter been in many tight places and in many terrible fights in his life, but never did he feel quite so helpless and hopeless as when he felt the black paws of old Granny Fox pinning him down, and Granny's sharp teeth in the back of his neck. All he could do was kick with all his might, and kicking was quite useless, for Granny had taken great care to keep out of the way of his stout hind legs. Many times Granny Fox had tried to catch Peter, and always before Peter had been too smart for her, and had just made fun of her, laughing at her. Now it was her turn to laugh, all because he had been careless and foolish. You see, Peter had been so sure that Granny had had such a fright that she ran away from the strange creature that rolled down Prickly Porky's hill at her, that he wouldn't even think that she would have come back. And so he had given himself up to enjoying a Granny's fright. And Peter's scream of fright, though. Uncle Billy Possum scampered up the nearest tree, and Jimmy Skunk dodged behind a big stump. You see, it was so sudden, he didn't really know what had happened. But Prickly Porky, who some people call stupid, made no move to rove her away. He happened to be looking at Peter when Granny caught him. So he knew just what it meant. A spark of anger flashed in his usually dark eyes. For once in his life, Prickly Porky moved quickly. The little 1,000 spears hidden in his coat suddenly stood on end. And Prickly Porky made a fierce rush forward. "Drop him," he grunted. And Granny Fox just snarled and backed away, dragging Peter with her, and keeping him between Prickly and herself. By this time, Jimmy Skunk had recovered himself. You know, he was not afraid of anybody else also. So what did he do? Here we got a picture. He sprang out from behind a stump, looked a wee bit shamefaced, and startled and stared at old Granny Fox. "You let Peter Rabbit go," he commanded, in a very threatening way. Now, the reason Jimmy Skunk is afraid of nobody is because he carries with him a little bag of very strong perfume, which makes everybody sick but himself. Granny Fox knows all about this. For just a minute she hesitated. Then she thought about it. If Jimmy used it, it would be as bad for Peter as for her. And she didn't believe Jimmy would use it. So she kept on backing away, dragging Peter with her. Then Uncle Billy Possum took a hand, and with his bravest deed of all, for he knew that Granny was more than a match for him in a fight, he slipped down from the tree where he was at, and safely crept behind her. He crept up behind Granny and bit her sharply on one heel. Granny let go of Peter to turn and snap at old Billy, and this was Peter's chance. He slipped out from under Granny's paws, and a flash was over and wound behind Prickly Porky. The end. God is great all the time, all the time. God is great.